So guys, just as you have seen in the thumbnail, Kaspa is looking like Ethereum in 2017, and the question is Kaspa going to deliver the same gains that Ethereum did? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ethereum went from what, $80 to around 4,500 or something, right? So that for Kaspa will be a huge gain. Well, looking at that fraction, Ethereum 2017, Kaspa 2024, that looks almost identical, right? And now looking at what Ethereum did after this huge shakeout, well, that was the case, right? So I do hope that this is going to happen for Kaspa, guys. Let's see in coming weeks and months, right? I know that many of you are basically saying that there is no point of making Kaspa videos and there is no point of looking at the market. Well, I believe it is quite significant to follow the market, guys, right? Because besides Kaspa updates, I'm also giving you overall market updates and some news sometimes, okay? And also, guys, a quick disclaimer: this video is not financial advice, and make sure that you remember about the fact that there are lots of scammers in the comments, right? And I'm not going to block it at this point. Well, it's impossible to delete them one by one. I would have to be 24/7 on that computer, and believe me, I have other things to do in my life. And also, I believe it's nice for you to spread your hate or love or whatever it is, your opinion, in the comments, guys. I believe that, you know, it's good that you are interacting, right? That's the reason I'm not, you know, turning the comments off. But please remember about these scammers, and it's not only my channel, it's basically every single crypto channel, okay? So you commenting, putting real comments will definitely gonna help. Of course, not mentioning about thumbs up, like, and subscribe and all of that jazz. Anyways, guys, let's move to the news, because we've got BlackRock Ethereum ETF that surpasses 3 billion in inflows. As experts predict, Ethereum could surge to $15,000. Okay, why am I showing you this, right? Because we are seeing that switch for phase number 2, right? Ethereum is going to experience inflows, altcoins are going to be thriving, right? And basically more money is going to fly out of Ethereum later on, and then it's going to enter in networks such as Kaspa, of course, and different projects, you know, like big caps, and after that we are going to see smaller caps, right? Now, quick shout out to Mr. Titan of Crypto. He's posting this. He's letting us know that Bitcoin is breaking out and BTC has surged past the blue line of the power law corridor. Historically, such breakouts often signal explosive upward moves. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's a monthly chart, guys, so hold your horses. Continues showing us this. Bitcoin supply on exchanges is plummeting, and meanwhile, last 2 weeks, ETFs brought more than 35,000 BTC. MicroStrategy bought 21,550 BTC. Only 450 new supply mined every day, guys. So, you know, supply going down, right? The demand is increasing, more money is going to flow into BTC, basically, all right? And that's the reason why am I showing you this, right? Because more money is going to fly into BTC ETFs and Ethereum ETFs. That's going to come out because people are going to look for more risk, basically, right? And of course, more retail is going to come once BTC is going to see, I don't know, probably 110k, 120k, and obviously everybody's going to be chasing these candles, so on and so forth, and the rotation will happen towards altcoins. Anyways, Mr. El Crypto Prof is pointing this out. So altcoins have such more room to run. BTC dominance uptrend was broken to the downside after 2 years. 2 weekly retest is almost complete. So far, the cycle is proceeding as it should, TA-wise. In 2016 and 2020, this break of the uptrend led to a legendary altcoin season, guys. That's obviously 2 weekly. We are going to get into Bitcoin's dominance on a smaller time frame, but before we are going to look at Kaspa and BTC's chart and, you know, overall charts, I would like to point out what's going on with ETFs that we just spoke about, right? So guys, as of yesterday, 12th of December, we had inflows of, as you can clearly see on the screen, all right? So now let's quickly go to ETF inflows, because obviously we do have to track them as well. These inflows for ETH are also very important. So we've got 273, which is also big amount of money flowing into Ethereum. Now guys, looking at overall market on a daily, yes, I know things are looking bad, okay, but doesn't really matter. This is very short time frame. On a weekly, things are looking very good. Well, not anymore. They used to, but anyways, monthly time frame is still looking okay. So obviously the shakeout, pullback, whatever, guys, that occurs because people are trading with leverage like crazy. Now, looking at BTC, all right, let's first of all look at BTC to kind of understand of what is happening. Titan of Crypto and all of these guys on Twitter basically were showing that, you know, BTC might gonna break towards the upside soon. Well, on a weekly time frame, we are still being supported by this line that basically goes in here. And yes, I know this chart is a little bit messy, but you know, it kind of makes sense from the standpoint of long-term resistance and support lines, okay? And I've drawn lines in here of where BTC can potentially, well, stop locally or at the cycle. I don't believe at the cycle, but we could see some resistance at levels of 149, 150k roughly. So guys, now I know that it's probably gonna sound very silly, okay, but we've got a bull moon happening on a weekly time frame. It still doesn't really occur on a daily time frame, but you see that every single time we had this gray circle, let's say, on the screen, right, we had a pump for BTC, okay, every single time. And every single time we had the bear moon, we had a little dip, okay, that occurred in here. And now this bull moon is being printed, all right? So daily time frame is still doesn't really reflecting that. I believe, well, based on that, we can assume, let's say, that we could see some spike towards the upside for BTC. Now guys, let's have a look at our beloved Kaspa, all right? So looking at our beloved Kaspa, I believe that we have reached this level of a support, right? We have properly dipped to actually, you know, grab this liquidity. Oh my goodness, apologies for that, guys, my annoying mouse. But basically, Kaspa still is below this trend, which definitely isn't really juicy. The next, well, kind of big level of support could be roughly in these areas, right? We are going to look at the liquidity heat map, but without that, we can clearly see that we've got some confirmations in here. So is it possible that Kaspa can just do this, right, quick chi-ching, right, to grab that liquidity and then spike towards the upside? Well, if that is going to happen, that's going to be, let's see how much, that's going to be around 4.5, well, almost 5% of a dip for Kaspa, which I believe isn't really that kind of a big of a deal, considering the fact that, well, the whole market is basically pulling back, at least on a daily. That's definitely possible for our beloved Kaspa, right? So now guys, let's have a look at the liquidity and let's have a look of where Kaspa can actually go. All right, we are still sitting at greed, remember that, okay? So we can see even a little bit of more flash out. That's definitely not out of the question. But am I scared? No, not really. Am I holding? Yes, I'm holding. I'm not selling, guys, because I believe that we are going to enter this banana phase, parabolic phase, however you want to call it, right? Like this last kind of phase of the cycle where most gains are actually made, all right? Not mentioning about bear cycle. But anyways, let's have a look at the liquidity for BTC first, all right? So we can clearly see that now everybody is shorting BTC, right? And less people are longing. We still have a lot of liquidity for longs, but looking at the heat map, guys, we can clearly see for BTC on Binance on 24 hourly at least is that we've got huge levels of liquidity above the current trading price. Could we see a little bit of a flashy last flash before that huge breakout? Definitely possible. Obviously that's a short time frame. So guys, now knowing all of this, that we can potentially expect some volatility, shakeouts, further shakeouts for BTC. Let's have a look how our beloved Kaspa is doing, all right? So now everybody is shorting Kaspa, which definitely is a good condition for Kaspa to be pushed towards the upside, right? On a daily, on all of the exchanges, we can clearly see that this is the case as well. Let's actually go to 7 daily. So on 7 daily, everybody is shorting Kaspa, and usually most of the retail traders are wrong. So guys, let's have a look at heat map. All right, let's type our beloved Kaspa and whoa, okay, I think that's just Kas. So Kaspa USDT perpetual on a weekly time frame. So we see that we've got these last levels in here, definitely possible, quick wick, and then boom, right? Let's actually go to 12 hourly for Kaspa and then let's check 24 hourly. So guys, what I'm seeing is basically the dip to levels of 15 cents 7, and after that probably the spike towards the upside 16 cents 5 and then 16 cents 7 type of a level. Let's have a look at 24 hourly now. So 24 hourly is basically showing this in a better kind of a picture. So we've got this last level of liquidity in here, the big chunk, almost 100k, and then probably Kaspa is going to gear up towards the upside. All right, so knowing this, right, short time frame, let's now have a look at BTC's dominance, because obviously we saw long term for BTC's dominance chart. We can see that BTC dominance, at least on 4 hourly, basically closed above this line, and now it's currently being supported. Let's have a look at the daily time frame for BTC's dominance. We can see that this is still kind of you know, moved towards the downside. The dominance is being pushed like crazy towards the downside. Stochastic RSI is also showing us such action that potentially can mean that we might gonna pull back for BTC's dominance, and then obviously that's going to be very bullish for altcoins. And speaking about altcoins dominance, we see that we've got inverse correlation with stochastic RSI, right? So Bitcoin's dominance is basically at the top, and this dominance here is at the bottom, right? It means that it has potentially more fuel to go. Okay, so once we are going to break above this level of resistance that is sitting at 12% 39 to be exact, then it's going to be a much more bullish type of a confirmation of a re-entering that altcoin season. But zooming out, guys, we can clearly see of what is happening. We still have a lot if it comes to the dominance. All right, and now guys, last but not least, we've got USDT dominance, right? So coming back to my thesis from yesterday, it's kind of more evident right now. Let's have a look at 4 hourly. So as you can clearly see, guys, this could be the case. We've got left shoulder kind of ish forming in here, then we've got the head, right, and then we've got the right shoulder ish, right? That potentially could play out, right? Could we see another spike if it comes to that USDT dominance? Yes, definitely, right? But obviously that is a downward trajectory in general. Okay, so I do expect this dominance to break, and I do expect another leg towards the upside for overall market in coming days, weeks, who really knows. But I believe, guys, that, you know, this is definitely not the time to kind of complain, right? Obviously I'm waiting years for this to happen, and it's kind of happening, right? So I have a lot of patience, and I would say that patience is probably required in this market. It's definitely better to hold now, in my opinion, again, not financial advice, and then take out your profits as we go, instead of just selling because lack of patience occurred. Guys, I hope that helps, and as always, have a great weekend. Peace and love, crypto.